Well, President-elect Donald Trump has held his first press conference since winning a second term in office. North America correspondent Barbara Miller joins us now from Washington. Good morning, Barb. What did he have to say?
As you say, he touched on a lot of issues, and a lot of it we had heard before. His plans for his second administration, his second term, for example, to introduce tariffs on foreign goods. He said that would make America rich. He also talked about plans to pardon some of the people convicted over the January 6th attack in 2021 on the U.S. Capitol. And Donald Trump, in that news conference, which was held at his Florida residence Mar-a-Lago, also touching on a number of sort of hot button issues, including what's been a series of drone sightings in several northeastern states. That's been a bit of a topic here for the past week or so, with many people reporting what they say are mysterious drones in the sky. Now, the U.S. government so far has said that there's nothing to worry about, that there's no evidence of any enemy action there. Donald Trump, though, suggested that the government knew a lot more than it was letting on, but was choosing to keep the suspense going, though he also suggested that he knew that there wasn't anything nefarious going on, any enemy action going on. He also talked about TikTok. Now, this is ahead of a possible ban of the app in the US, which at the moment would be due to take effect as Donald Trump comes back to the White House. And he talked about how the app had a warm spot in his heart because he said it had essentially helped him win the presidential election last month. And then Donald Trump also asked about the furor over the alleged assassin of the healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, in New York. A number of people on social media have been supportive, essentially, of the action of that assassin, saying that he helped point out the flaws in the U.S. health system, that many people's claims were denied. Donald Trump choosing to condemn the actions of those who have essentially glorified the suspect, Luigi Mangione.
That was a terrible thing. It was cold-blooded, just a cold-blooded, horrible killing. And how people can like this guy is, that's a sickness, actually. That's really very bad, especially the way it was done. It was so bad, right in the back. And very bad, very thing like that. You can't believe that some people, and maybe it's fake news. I don't know. It's hard to believe that that can even be thought of. But it seems that there's a certain appetite for him.
And Barb, in terms of foreign policy, what did the president-elect have to say?
We talked briefly about a phone call he had over the weekend with the Israeli leader, Benjamin Netanyahu. He described that call as a recap call. But Donald Trump making pretty strong comments, reiterating something he said before about what happens if a hostage deal isn't struck by the time he takes office.
On Bibi, we had a very good talk. We discussed what is going to happen, and I'll be very available on January 20th, and we'll see. As you know, I gave warning that if these hostages aren't back home by that date, all hell's going to break out, and very strong.
Now, on the topic of Ukraine, he was asked if he thought that President Volodymyr Zelensky needed to agree to cede land to Russia to end the war. He didn't give a direct answer on that, but he pointed out that many of the areas they were talking about, he said, were essentially just rubble now. But he said that a deal had to be struck on Ukraine. He said Vladimir Putin had to do a deal. He's not sounding quite as confident on the issue of the Ukraine war that he can, as he had pledged to end that war in a day. He was asked if he thought he could bring the conflict to an end by the time he took office, and he said, I'm going to try to. But he definitely is still talking very strongly about this idea of a hostage deal by January the 20th, but sounding in this press conference and in recent interviews a little less sure about resolving in double quick time the Ukraine issue.
Barbara Miller in Washington, thanks for the update.